Hey, it's Job, and today we're going to do something a little different. Today I'm going to show you how to quickly digitize your hand lettering on Photoshop, and then we're going to incorporate that project in today's journal spread. Today's video is sponsored by Graphic Stock, which is great because we'll be needing some royalty-free photos for today's project. If you didn't know, Graphic Stock has the largest unlimited download library of graphics, photos, vectors, and illustrations with more than 35,000 images and growing. The cool thing about Graphic Stock is that all of the images on the site come with a royalty-free agreement, so you won't get any of those pesky copyright claims if you use their photos. The kind folks over at graphicstock.com are giving all the Job's Journal viewers 7 days of free downloads on Graphic Stock so you can access their huge library of royalty-free licensed images. Go to graphicstock.com/JobsJournal_0817 or click the link in the description box below to start downloading and get started today. Okay, let's get started. If you're not interested in learning how to digitize your hand lettering or your drawings, go to the timestamp that will be displayed on the screen and you can go watch the journaling portion of this video. To start, I scan my hand lettering and open the image file on Photoshop. Then we're going to use the polygonal lasso tool to just roughly select the perimeter of the image. Once you've lassoed the perimeter, copy that selection that you've just made by pressing Command-C or Control-C on a PC. I then opened a new Photoshop file with a white background and added a new transparent layer over top. Although there are a lot of ways to digitize hand lettering, I like using Quick Mask mode because of its ease. To activate Quick Mask mode, press Q on your keyboard or find it in the menu. You'll know you're in Quick Mask mode because your file will state it in its name. Now we're going to paste our selection on that transparent layer we just made. You'll see that in Quick Mask mode, your selection will be in pink or whatever color you've set it as. Resize your image and exit Quick Mask mode by pressing Q again. In Photoshop, masks ignore the color black, so essentially, Quick Mask mode selects all the white pixels instead. You'll notice this because when you exit Quick Mask mode, you'll see the dashed lines around your whole document as well as around your lettering. To fix that, press Shift-Command-I or Shift-Control-I on a PC to get the inverse of your selection. Now that we have our lettering selected, we'll need to fill it with color. The fastest way to do that is to press Alt or Option-Delete, and that will fill the selection with your foreground color, and for me, that was black. Now we're done! How easy is that? This technique preserves a lot of texture in your hand lettering and doesn't smooth your lines, which is great if you want your lettering to have that hand-drawn feel. Now let's add a cool background to our lettering. Now that we've digitized our hand lettering, it opens us up to a whole bunch of possibilities. So you can turn that hand lettering and make it into a print by adding a cool background to it, which is what we're gonna do today. So I'm going to find a coffee themed photo to go with my hand lettering piece that goes "Don't look for love, look for coffee," which I digitized earlier, and we're gonna use that and print it out and put it in our Midori Traveler's Notebook for a journal spread. But for now, I'm gonna go open up graphicstock.com and download a photo of coffee beans because I thought that would complement the coffee related hand lettering that I have, and I just downloaded that photo, and now we're gonna go open it up in Photoshop and work on it from there. I digitized this hand lettering piece the same way that I did with the World Is Yours hand lettering piece, but instead of setting the fill color to black, I set the fill color to white because I thought that the white would look better over top of the brown coffee beans photo that we downloaded from Graphic Stock. And we are pretty much done. I just toyed with the idea of using a drop shadow, which I ended up using, and I chose a dark brown drop shadow, but I set the opacity to a pretty low level just to make that white lettering pop a little bit more against the brown coffee beans. But we're gonna just save this photo and then we're gonna print it out. So today we're making a 2-page spread and we're gonna be journaling in my Midori insert with the regular paper inside, and I have 4 different prints that I created with Graphic Stock images and my hand lettering, but I chose the coffee one since that's the one that we were working on in this video, and you all know how much I love coffee. I'm surprised I didn't have coffee while I was creating this spread, but this is the first time that I'm gonna actually take the time to measure out the exact measurements for this journal spread. So I wanted this page to cover the right page of the journal spread, so I measured out the proper dimensions. One page on a Midori Traveler's Notebook regular size insert is actually 11 centimeters by 21 centimeters, so I measured that out and I cut it out with scissors instead of tearing it apart since I wanted some clean and crisp edges. And this is pretty much the final page for the right page of the spread. I really wanted this really bold looking print. It kind of looks like something you would find in a magazine, which is really cool. I really wish I could create more of these spreads in the future. I just don't have access to a colored printer, so I had to get these printed at work while no one was looking. No, people knew I was printing it, but I felt kind of bad because it was the work printer, but also I'm shameless, so that's fine. I do have a colored printer at home, but I just didn't have any ink and I was too lazy to go out and order some. That kind of speaks something about my personality, but that's what I did. I pulled out these neutral toned scrap papers, and I really wanted to use this book paper, and this is from a package or a piece of mail that Mitt sent me a while ago. She sent me a whole bunch of scrap papers that she thought I could use in my journal, and I love all of them. They all have this subtle light brown tone to it, and it all kind of looks like craft paper. So I taped this what is this called, this book paper down, and that's gonna go on the top left corner of the page. And then my friend Neek, who I had a journaling video, yeah, was it last week? Yeah, well, by the time you're watching this, it's been a few weeks ago, but I made a video with my friend Neek where she journaled in my Midori Traveler's Notebook, and she had this little pamphlet that she got from Lush, and there was this illustration of a cocoa pod, or it might be I don't think coffee grows in these pods. I think that's a cocoa pod, so that's where the cocoa beans go. That might be a coffee pod too. I'm not quite sure, but it's in the same bean family, so I thought I could use it. Might not be a coffee bean pod, but it might be a cocoa pod, but it still has something to do with the theme, I guess. And the colors from that illustration look really good with the colors on the right page, so I thought I would use that, and it makes it look really, I don't know, I just really like the spread. You'll see it in the final product, but I just like how all the tones come together. And I pulled out this calendar sheet, and I wanted the leaf to cover up that sheet a little bit to make it look more I guess blended together. I wanted all those sheets to look like they were folded on top of each other, so I kind of just got a rough plan as to where I want to put all of these sheets. And then I tore the edges of that post-it since I love torn edges, and I like this position of all these papers, so I used a post-it to kind of temporarily adhere those two pages together, and then I marked with a pencil where that post-it should go. I think this is the first time I've measured so much for a spread, but I really wanted this to look really perfect and crisp, so I pulled out this craft piece of paper as, I guess, this little background for me to glue on, since I didn't want glue all over my desk. So I glued that together, and now I'm noticing that I covered too much of the 6th, so it could look like the date was the 28th, but I think it'll look, yeah, it looks fine. It doesn't look like it's an 8 because it would look a little bit more rounder on the top, but I'm just rambling. So this is another scrap piece of paper, and I kind of treated this like a washi tape because I do have a lot of brown washi tapes, but I really like the print of this paper because it's not too bold. So I tore it and made it look like some washi tape, and then I pulled out this coffee themed washi tape and I taped that near the coffee bean and the yellow post-it, and then I toyed around with putting this black and brown washi tape, but I thought it was too busy looking, so I didn't end up taping it on. And then I pulled this classic-y green washi and I put that near the edge of where I taped or glued that brown paper sheet, and then I layered that banana leaf washi tape over top. Sorry, I'm recording this in one go again. And I put or stamped the date twice, and I kind of struggled with the placement of those washi tapes, so I peeled everything off and then just left that black washi and put that grid washi at the top. And this is pretty much it, I think. I kept it simple, and this was, I think, probably one of the spreads that I finished really quickly. Oh, I think I wanted to incorporate a stamp, so I was trying to look for the perfect stamp to incorporate into this spread, something that would complement all the tones. So I found this little stamp. I think it's a Canadian stamp, and it just has an orchid on it or some sort of flower. I just wanted that green in that washi, no, in that stamp to complement all the other green elements on this spread. And I think that was the final perfect touch to it. I know there isn't any stamping on this spread, and I contemplated about adding some brush lettering, but decided not to, and I just decided to journal. And there's some of my messy hair peeking through the screen, but that pretty much does it. Here are the final close-up shots. I know this video is a little bit different, but I hope you still enjoyed it nonetheless. If you want to watch more of these Adobe, Photoshop, or Illustrator tutorials, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for Graphic Stock for sponsoring this video, and you have 7 days of free graphic stock if you use the link below, so go check them out if you want to. I know I haven't done a sponsored video before, but this is my first one, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to be as creative as I can, and I hope you still learned something too. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with other people who might find it interesting or useful, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!